this video, I've got an update regarding the coronavirus and how it affects us dropshippers. If you're Shopify dropshipping, especially from AliExpress, you want to pay attention to this video because these updates directly involve us. Now, this has been a very, very highly requested video. I've been getting tons of comments from a lot of you out there, especially this week because of the developments about the virus and now what suppliers are actually saying. So as of today, there's over 31,000 confirmed cases of the coronavirus and now over 600 people have died. Now, this is actually probably on the low end. It's probably underreported. There's probably more cases than this, but those are the numbers that are being put out. So this is a very serious and sad situation for all the people involved, all the regions involved. This is a very, very serious matter. But for the good news, the CDC is actively working on a lot of this, and the CDC has actually come out and said that this virus has very little vehicle transmission. It's got very low, weak vehicle transmission. Vehicle transmission essentially means that when you're shipping packages from China, there's very little chance that you can actually get the virus from the package itself. So, if you're shipping a package and that package is actually in contact with someone who has the coronavirus and it ships over to someone else around the world, there's essentially no chance that that person can get the coronavirus from the package itself. So when you have customers that they know the package is coming from China, they see on the tracking the package is coming from China, especially right now with all the news being around coronavirus, you might have these customers freak out. You might have some of these customers want to go ahead and cancel the order, and there's nothing you can do to deter them away from that. You need to respect that. But this is where good customer service and education comes in. This is where you can literally direct them to the CDC's website and show them how this virus has essentially no vehicle transmission and there's no chance they can get it from opening the package. This is where customer education comes in. But that actually has to do with the package itself, and there's a lot of people that have been scared about getting the virus from the package itself. So that's the good news. Another set of good news for at least some of you out there is the timing of this. A lot of you out there were already prepared for at least lower orders or essentially a break from orders because of the Chinese New Year. This happened to come right around the Chinese New Year. So a lot of you had already planned for this break in itself. Now, a lot of the strategies having to come out of the video from today in the updates right now with the coronavirus that we're getting ready to talk about, I actually talked about in the Chinese New Year video that I put out a few weeks ago, how to actually be very strategic around the Chinese New Year and succeed throughout the Chinese New Year. If you watch that video, a lot of the same strategies apply. So after this video, if you haven't seen that, definitely check that out. That's going to help you through this whole entire process. So while a lot of people are contracting this virus and quite a few people have actually died from this virus, there's a lot of experts out there that are actually saying that this news is overplayed right now. That yes, this is a serious thing, but overall it is quite overplayed. And when comparing it to the flu and all types of things, there's a lot of things that work in our benefit with this, and it may not be as serious as what we're talking about. Now, as of right now, we still need to plan on it being serious. There's still people that are dying from it, and it's spreading fairly rapidly. So that's where staying up to date with all of this is very much in our best interest, not only as business owners, but just being part of the human race and wanting to know what's going on with other people around the world. So now let's get into how this is directly affecting us dropshippers. So a lot of people out there, a lot of dropshippers out there are essentially just freaking out saying, AliExpress dropshipping is dead, at least for right now. No packages are going out and all of that. First off, I want to let you know that AliExpress as a whole is not down. There's a reason why AliExpress is still up and running, and frankly, they don't have any warnings up right now, and that's because there's still so many suppliers that are still up and running, and they're back to business as usual after the Chinese New Year. They're not affected from the coronavirus, at least not yet, and there's packages going out normally. This isn't for everybody. There are some suppliers that have been affected. They essentially have sent out a lot of messages, and we'll get to that in a second, but there's a lot of suppliers, I would venture to say the majority of suppliers are still up and running. It all depends on the region where the supplier's at, and what industry they're in. Not every AliExpress supplier is from the same exact city in China. So that's one thing to note is right now, there's still so many suppliers that are up and running, so keep that in mind. Number two, if a supplier was affected, even if it was just around their region or they're being precautious, they may have just extended their time of Chinese New Year. There's been many messages that have been put out from specific suppliers. Essentially, they're just extending the time they take off from Chinese New Year. Now, this is where you need to go ahead, check out my Chinese New Year video because I talk about the time where suppliers take off, how much time do they take off, all of that. This is essentially just extended some suppliers' time of Chinese New Year. So number 3, the actual messages that have come out from several suppliers that I've seen is some are saying that they're going back to work on February 9th. Now this is very, very fluid. This is as updates are still coming out around the virus, where the virus is spreading. But as of now, there's a lot of messages from a lot of suppliers that have come out saying they're going back to work on February 9th and everything's going to pick back up again. Some other suppliers have said they're not going back to work until February 18th. And that's where they could be more directly affected by the virus. And so this is where having good communication with your suppliers is very key. Now, if you're not getting responses back from your supplier, that's a good indication that they're directly affected and their business is down for right now. So with that, if you have suppliers that are directly affected by this is where you need to go ahead, spend time. First off, you need to pause all advertising you have for those direct products, unless you can go ahead and find a supplier that is up and running with that type of product, because there's several AliExpress suppliers that sell the same product. So that's where you could try to find one that might be in a different region, but a lot of times the same product, even if it's sold by different suppliers, is in the same region. So you're going to have all of those be down. You need to pause all advertising for that. Definitely don't be scaling up a product right now where you can't ship it out. You're going to have a lot of refunds, chargebacks, everything like that, and you don't want to go through that. That's where you want to go ahead right now, spend time working on your business, work on the back end, work on your funnels. You could be even doing product and supplier research where the suppliers and the products aren't affected, but that's where right now you could go ahead and really, really beef up everything. If you've already got a very, very successful operation going, you already know that your website is golden, you've already got your funnels in place, you know your advertising, all of that. That's where right now you could be working on completely other things, especially product research. You could already be planning on buying products in bulk, all of that. But for the majority of you out there, you could do a lot of work on your website. You could be doing a lot of research right now on the back end, and that's the foundation that a lot of dropshippers, the bulk majority of dropshippers, they rush that step to get to advertising. And then they're leaving a lot of sales on the table once they actually do start making sales, or they're not going to make sales at all. So that's where during this time, use this time as essentially forcing you to go back and really, really work on the actual foundation of your business. Once all of this calms down, and it will, these things always calm down. Once this calms down, you will be ready to go, and you'll have something that customers actually want to purchase from. You'll have a brand that people really want to go to. And that's where, again, I highly suggest you check out my Chinese New Year video. I talk about strategies and how to actually take advantage of the Chinese New Year and make this work. So again, this is a very fluid situation. The big thing is you need to know your supplier. You need to be in contact with your suppliers. Like I said, many suppliers have been affected. But many suppliers haven't. Many suppliers are back to business as usual and are shipping out packages and all that. There's many drop shippers that are still rocking along right now. So that's where knowing your supplier is key, and staying up to date with news, staying up to date with everything going on with the coronavirus. That's going to be in your best interest. But if you are affected with this right now, if you can't get packages out, this is where, one, be prepping a big bulk order if you have the money to do that. But then two, the biggest thing is go back to the basics, go back to the building blocks, your foundation, and really, really have your brand on point. I guarantee you there's improvements you can make. You can go back, look at your Google Analytics data, go through the heat map, see where people are dropping off, really, really be cleaning up and improving things during this time, and be doing product research. Find suppliers that are still up and going. You know, AliExpress is full of suppliers from all over China, even outside of China. You've got Russia, and you've got even some in the United States. And that's where, too, the other point is you can find suppliers that are in the United States during this time. Now, I've done many videos about that, and in U.S. suppliers, good ones, and then why I typically stay away from most U.S. suppliers. So you could definitely check out those videos and the exact reasons for that, but keep that in mind. Now, I want to finish this video off with, thoughts and prayers go out to everybody involved with this, all the regions involved. I hope this situation calms down soon. And all of you out there, all of you business owners out there that have been affected, I'm sorry, this kind of sucks, but this is what happens in business. And, there's always going to be hiccups and roadblocks that come, and it's how you get over those. I've done many videos about the first 6 months, and really 6 months to a year of me running businesses and how many roadblocks I had to figure out. And it's just something that comes along with being a business owner, and how you persevere through that is, what separates you from people who don't succeed at all with that. So you've got to have perseverance and get over it. With this, there's a lot of overhype with the virus, and there's a lot of ways to still be making sales, so keep that in mind. But I hope you guys found some value in this video. I'm definitely going to be putting out more updates as this comes along. If suppliers don't go back by February 18th, I'll definitely be doing another video talking about what's projected with dropshipping, everything like that. But that's the update as of right now. As of right now, there's a lot of suppliers that are still up and going. There's some that are going back to work projected on February 9th, and then there's a lot more that are projected on February 18th. But that's the update. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you could, please go ahead and smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, leave any comments or questions down below. Love going and connecting with you guys. Be happy, be positive, be powerful, and have a great rest of your day.